Okay, let's do that again.
The O'Connell Center is collapsing. Okay. 3, 2. Hey Gator fans, I'm Kelly Price here with Chris Terry at the O-Dome where the Gators just completed a season sweep of Ole Miss 77-72. First, we've got to talk about Casey Hilda did a fantastic job starting. Stephon Moody today, he came in averaging 23.5 points. He was the SEC scoring leader, and they limited him to 5. Talk about what Casey and the Gators were able to do there.
Well, he was obviously a point of emphasis given his ability to score from just about anywhere on the court. Gator fans remember what he did last year when he hit the shot with 2.7 seconds left from the top of the Gator head here to beat the Gators last year. It's funny, 3 weeks ago when these teams played, Stephon Moody was the leading scorer in the league at that time with 24.5 points a game. Gators held him to 20 in that game, really frustrated him. I think he was 5 of 16 in that game, 3 of 10 from three-point range. Today he goes 5 for 11, 1 for 4. He's also in the 2 games 3 assists, 14 turnovers. Now he's a he's a score first point guard, but you're really frustrating guy. 8 turnovers tonight and only 3 assists. So Gators did a really good job of kind of keeping him in a cup. He's still going to get his shots because he can go get one anytime he wants to. He's going to get his shots. What the Gators want to do is make sure that he didn't start getting really hot, getting really crazy from deep, and then getting other guys involved. He was never able to do that tonight.
The offense was a little out of sync today, but we have 5 guys who finished with 10 or more points. What did you see on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, what I saw was what Ole Miss was doing defensively. Andy Kennedy is a very good coach. He's known as a very good offensive coach. As Mike White was responding after the game, having worked for him for those 5 years on the sidelines, he knows how good he is on defense, and especially when he rolled that zone out there. And a couple of the actions that Florida was trying to run just weren't working against that zone. So they had to kind of fight their way through it. Mike White likes to say we had to keep it in the road a little bit. We found some guys who were able to step up and score. Kayvon Allen came out of his slump. He only had 3 points at Kentucky the other day. Came back, hit some big shots, a couple big ones at the end. Johnny Boone with his 4th double-double of the season, and Devin Robinson had his best game this season, his best game since he's been here.
And Devin Robinson, as Mike White said in his post-game press conference, had the best game of his U.S. career, in Mike White's words. Yes. He had 5 rebounds and 15 points. What did you see from Utah?
And 5 of those rebounds were offensive. 4 of those rebounds were offensive rebounds. He scored 15 points. He was 2 for 3 from three-point range. And this is the big thing. He drew 3 charges. That means he's selling himself out on defense. And the third charge that he drew was Stephon Moody's 5th foul with 1:09 left in the game. That's a big deflating moment for Ole Miss on the bench because that's the guy who they need to have the ball late in the game. At that point, they closed it to like a 1 or 2 possession game. Big play by Devin Robinson, and I give that guy a lot of credit because he's been back and forth on the bench, in and out of the starting lineup. He really hadn't done a whole lot of complaining, and to his credit, he jumped off today and really gave the Gators a big lift when they really, really needed him.
He had a couple big blocks today, electrified the O-Dome where the Gators got their 16th win, which matches their total wins from last season. What does this game mean for the SEC implications?
Well, they're 7-3, and they're really just you got to hold serve at home. You know, they play Alabama here Saturday night. You got to win your home games. They haven't lost an SEC home game yet, and you know there's some games coming up after there's Alabama, then there's Vanderbilt, and of course there's Kentucky, the last one. You got to keep that. You got to protect your home floor. Now, somewhere down the line, the Gators are probably going to have to steal one on the road, whether it's at Georgia, at South Carolina. Those are very, very tough games. They also end the season at Missouri, a game they're going to be expected to win. But you know they had to come out and win this game tonight. You know, you can't just win your 19th game and call yourself an NCAA tournament. You got to inch your way there. They've won 16 so far. Let's see what happens on Saturday.
All right, and that makes it 6 wins here in the O-Dome in the SEC. We get a 77-72 win for the Gators over Ole Miss. For everything Florida basketball, stay tuned to FloridaGators.com.